Awesome.
Okay, got it. Awesome. Like, all right. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go through the full opportunity in our business. Everyone starts out at the same level here. As we said, we do promotion from within. So what that means is everyone's going to start out, including myself. We all started out doing the basic stuff. Okay. This is a level called account executive. Okay. And more or less, we showed you this on your interview day. You guys remember at lunchtime they drew out a thing for you. Okay. This is more or less this. So what are we looking at the account executive level? We're looking for you at this point to really just learn our system, our marketing system. That's the main thing that we want you to learn. So what is our system? It's the posters in that wall, okay? It's the 8 steps. It's the 5 steps. It's the impulse factors. It's a cycle of development packet that you guys probably, if you don't have it already, you'll get it pretty soon, that teaches our sales theories. It's working the 3-lap system, okay? This is a system we've developed over many, many years, and it is a proven way to predictably and reliably accumulate sales and do well in business. Okay? What do you got to do to get promoted from this phase to the second phase? Well, remember, we're looking to promote people in a way that is measurable and objective, right? Because the minute that it's not objective or it's not measurable, then it could be me in a back room saying, oh, well, does he deserve to get promoted? Well, yes or no, and now we're just like every other corporation. Does that make sense? So we want it to be measurable and objective. We use a lot of math in getting promoted to all these levels. Okay? What we want to see you do here is there's 2 things. There's a field side and there's an office side. Okay? On the field side, we want to see that you hit a certain amount of production. What is it here on direct energy?
15.
15, okay. On Xfinity it's 30. Why? Why? It's not because we're overly obsessed with the quota. It's because that's the only way that we have to objectively measure if you're using our system in the field, if you're maintaining your attitude, if you're working hard. Does that make sense? So we're looking in the field for you to accomplish that, and then we have some things in the office we're looking for you to accomplish. One is you need to work at least 6 days in a row where you're on time, or preferably early, every single day. We're not looking for people who get sick all the time. We're not looking for people who are unreliable. We're looking for people that we can count on. Okay? We want to see that you have a professional image. Okay? Preferably a suit. We want to see that you're well kept and haircut and look good. Okay? And we want to see that you can fill out that COD pack. We're looking for 2 things there. One, that you've learned the sales theories yourself, and that you've had a leader sign off. That they've taught you all those sales theories, and 2, we want to see that you can teach those back to other people, because in the next phase of the program, you're going to be training people, right? So we're going to have a leader sign off that they taught it to you, and another leader sign off that you taught it back to them, okay? At that point, you'll get promoted to the next phase in the company, which we call leadership or trainer, okay? And what are you doing here? Well, it's a little bit like juggling, okay? When you're here, you really only have 1 ball to juggle, and that's the field ball, okay? And in our business, you get paid more money for more responsibility, not necessarily different responsibilities. So, here you're just juggling the field ball. Here you're going to juggle the field ball. You're also going to have to learn how to teach, train, develop people, and conduct interviews on behalf of the company. Okay? You may also be asked to run something called a road trip, which is a satellite office. When our client says, hey, you don't have an office over in this area yet, well, we would like to get customers in that area. So we take 4 or 5 people, we send them to an area for a week, and we run like a little miniature office. So you'll be asked to conduct interviews as well, just like the interview that you went out on. Okay? I want to see that you're capable here of explaining the business and capable of doing something called replace yourself. Okay? What does that mean? Well, we want to expand. We want to grow. That's our mission. Like every company, our clients want us to expand, and we want to provide more opportunities. So in order to do that, we have to do a ton of training. We've got to get people from where they are when they start to where you will be at this phase, to the training level. Okay? How do we measure that? Well, again, we don't want something subjective where it's like, oh, does Nina deserve to get promoted because, is she a good trainer or not? Well, I think so, I think not. No, we want an objective way to do this, okay? So here's how it works. We want to see that you can train 4 other people to get to leadership, and that you can train 1 of them to train at least 1 other person. Okay? It's a 4-in-1 model. How do we do this? How does this work? Well, if Hannah is the trainer in the office, okay, grow. So let's say I invite in, in Nashville, for instance, we have 100 people a day, roughly, apply for a position. Of those 100, we don't even sit down with 70 of them, but 30 of them we will sit down with. Of those 30, we'll invite back 9 to 10 people. Of those 9 to 10, we'll invite back one, we'll offer a position to 2 or 3 people. So it's about 2 or 3% of all applicants end up actually getting a position with us. So, it's great that you guys got in the room. I know the statistics here are probably even more extreme because there's so many more people that apply. But so if I say to Hannah, hey, we have these 10 people, I don't know which 2 or 3 of them I want to offer a position to, but will you take them out, will you interview them, will you explain the business to them, take some time out of your day to do this? And Hannah says yes, and she takes some time out of her day, and she explains the business to that person, and explains the opportunity, and we do end up offering to position that person. That person now needs to be trained. Does it make sense? Who do we give the first opportunity to train that person to? Hannah. It's natural. She's the one who took time out of her day to do that, and that's how Hannah would end up with people on her team, so to speak. Does that make sense? Now she doesn't have to train them. She can say no, I don't like that person, whatever, and we'll have somebody else train them. But essentially, that would be how we would measure. Okay, are you to the point where you can take somebody that's brand new and give them leadership? Does that make sense? Okay. Also, at this point, we're looking for the entire team to hit a certain level of production. And we'll have to go through some math for you here. There's something we have called the wire. What is the wire? The wire is the amount of money that's wired into the business's bank account when a sale is achieved. Okay? So on Xfinity and on Direct Energy, essentially when a sale is done, 2 people get paid. The office gets paid, the manager, okay, around $22, and the rep is paid around $30. Make sense? Okay, so that's the wire. Okay, we want to see that this team can achieve a $10,000 wire. Okay, $10,000 wire, 2 weeks in a row, plus 4 leaders, plus 1 second generation person, and you're promoted to assistant manager. Okay, everybody that's in this room, other than you guys, has already achieved at least this level. Cool. So you can see that we're a big group of people. Now, what happens then? Move into assistant management. Now, primarily, you're going to be working in the office. Okay, maybe not 100% of the time, but probably 80-90% of the time. What do we want to see an assistant manager do? Well, they're now going to shadow the manager. Okay, so just like we explained to you in your preliminary interview, they're going to learn everything that it takes behind the scenes to run one of our companies. Okay, so they're gonna look at how to do the creative aspect, how to work with our broker, which is a company out of Chicago that we use that helps us with our clients. Okay, they're gonna learn how to conduct preliminary interviews. They're gonna learn how to be a talent scout. They're gonna learn how to offer positions and do final interviews. They're gonna learn the accounting. They're gonna learn the badging process. They're gonna learn all the legal. They're gonna learn the administration. Okay, they're going to learn how to sit down with our clients and handle any problems there. Everything that it takes to run a business today in America from behind the scenes. Any questions about this? Okay, they're also going to get training at this point in public speaking. That's necessarily going to shadow the manager. Okay, we have a checklist of items for assistant managers. Again, objective, measurable, that we want to see them complete in order to graduate to the next phase of the company, which would be management. How does management work? Well, let's say Ryan, who's the assistant manager right now, he completes this checklist. We say, okay, you're ready to go. You completed the checklist. You hit all the requirements. And we have a conversation. Where would you like to go? Look at the available markets, available clients, which are numerous. Essentially, every city in America right now with more than a few 100,000 people, we can go into at this point with one client or another, which is extremely exciting. So Ryan says, hey, I want to go to Denver. Great. We get on a plane, fly out to Denver, let him pick out his office space, we get everything set up. We pay for all the initial costs, okay? And he gets set up, and now he's manager. Does that make sense? Okay. The way that our business is run, like I said earlier in the meeting, it's a franchise model. Okay. What does that mean? Well, a franchise, and a very simple definition of franchise is where you have a business that operates in multiple locations that uses the same system to make money. Does that make sense? Most franchise models are all called the same thing. Okay, so like McDonald's, they're all called McDonald's. Okay? With us, we're very, very, very similar to a franchise. We have a system that we use in every single office. It's the same system everywhere, anywhere in the world. We use the same system to generate money. What is a little bit different is we don't tax that individual person. Okay? So if you open up a franchise for McDonald's, you're going to have to pay, I think it's 8% every month back to that office. We don't do that, number one. Number two, we don't require you to sign a bunch of legal paperwork that says you have to do things a certain way. Okay? We want our managers to understand that they have autonomy. Okay? So whereas in a McDonald's, if you want to start serving tacos, would you be allowed to do that? No. And if you started serving tacos, what would happen? They come in and they shut you down, right? So we don't operate under any sort of strict system like that. We like to have a system where people can be creative, where they can innovate, where they can, you know, set their own agenda. So Ryan would incorporate his own company, which he's actually already done, SJ Advertising, named after his mother, right? Fantastic. Oh, yeah. Great guy. And now he's going to go and he's going to operate that business, and whatever profit is generated by that business, he's going to get to keep for himself. Okay? So how does this work? We're going to talk about averages. We're talking about average in our organization, and we're going to talk about what's possible at management. You guys want to know how to make money at management? Yes?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. How do you make money at management? Well, again, we want a situation that is performance-based. Okay? We don't want a situation like we were talking about earlier where Nina's working really hard, Ryan's not, and Nina makes less money. Does that make sense? We want a situation where whoever works harder, has a better attitude, and asks more questions is going to make more money than somebody else in another one. Okay? The average person right now running an office in this country has a wire. Remember what the wire is? Yeah? Has a wire of $10,000. Okay? How does that work? Well, at a $10,000 wire, 40% of that money goes to the office manager. 60% of that money is paid out in commissions. Okay? So $10,000 wire represents a gross profit of $4,000. Now, is Ryan going to have expenses? Sure. We pay for all the initial setup, but he is going to have expenses. Electricity's not free. Secretaries aren't free. You know, the cleaner's not free. He is going to have some overhead. Now, how much overhead? Well, it's extremely, extremely low. You know, unlike a bank or a retail location, you know, our expenses per week are extremely low. What does it take to run a business here? A room, secretary optional, electricity, internet connection, and a copy machine, and a desk. That's about it. And we've actually run offices without a desk before. So that's okay. Very, very, very little. Our average expenses across the country, if you were to average it all out, obviously, you know, if he wants a bigger office that's a lot fancier, he's going to have higher expenses because the rent's going to be more. If he wants a really, really low average office so that he can keep more money himself, he's going to have lower expenses. Average expenses are around $1,500 a week. Okay. So you see that our average manager across the country is bringing in, after expenses, $2,500 a week that they can do whatever they want with. They can save it, they can spend it. It's our money. So that's $130,000 a year. So who'd be excited to make $130,000 next year? Yeah, you guys? Great. Now, what about the organization that you guys have started in, this building, the organization that we have here, the people that you see in this room? Our standards are higher. Our average manager is making $16,000 wire each week. Remember before that I told you the requirement to get promoted to assistant management, you had to hit a $10,000 wire? Remember this? Okay. The reason we picked that number is because of this. Okay? The reason we picked that number is so that if you get to management and you never get any better, you don't learn anything, you just stay exactly the same, you'll at least make $130,000. Okay? Our organization, $16,000. What's that end up at? Well, after expenses, you're looking at $6,400 gross profit, $4,900 a week net profit, or an income of $254,800. Who would like to make that next year? Yes. Now, what's possible? What's possible? Okay. Well, if you get to number one, okay, we have a manager down in Miami. His name's Gavin. Right now, his average wire is $35,000. Yeah. So you do the math. That's $14,000 gross owner's profit. That's $12,500 after expenses. Over 52 weeks, you're looking at $650,000 $50,000 for running just one office. Who's excited? Huh? Yeah. Okay, phenomenal. So that's what's possible. Any questions so far? Nope. Okay, so this is what we call earned income. Okay, there are two ways long term to make money in our business. One is just like you are now, based on what you're doing in the field or as a manager, what you're doing. Okay, and are you going to have to work hard as a manager? Absolutely. You have to be the first person in, you have to be the last person to leave, you have to work your guts out, just like any entrepreneur has to work their guts out in the beginning, okay? Depending on how hard you work, you're looking at anywhere from here to here, if you're really amazing. You want to make more than that? Well, have a better attitude than Gavin, work harder than him, ask more questions, you'll make more money. It's very, very simple. Nina's like, I'm going to do it. Gavin's her manager. Her goal in life is to beat him. It's a good goal. Okay. So that's essentially the program that you guys saw on your observation day. The last thing we want to cover today is long term. What's the opportunity? Okay. Now, people come in our business for a lot of different reasons. Okay. Every year we have people that come in maybe part time just to make some money, maybe full time just to make some cash. We have reps that make $1,000, $1,200 a week in the field. It's good money. So sometimes people come in just for money. Other times people come in for experience. Every year we have a whole lot of interns come in that are studying marketing in university and want some experience. We have other people who come in that maybe their long-term goal or their dream is to work at a TV station or a radio station or billboards or a traditional advertising company. And they come here because if you work in direct marketing, then you can get hired at any indirect marketing company with enough experience in direct marketing, because it's difficult and it requires a great work ethic and a bulletproof attitude. Other people come in and at some point decide they want to do this long-term for their career. So for me, I was in the business for 1.5 years before I decided, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. Like this is going to be my career. What is the opportunity there? Well, there's 3 levels beyond management. Okay, so as a manager, say Dana, let's say you get promoted to management, just by you. Great job. All right. Let's say you get promoted to management. Okay. You're going to make money the way that I just talked about, okay? Once you train somebody else, okay, we want to grow, just like all companies want to grow. Our clients want us to grow. Our suppliers want us to grow. Our broker in Chicago wants to grow. Everybody wants us to grow. So we incentivize you to train people through the same program that you just completed. Does that make sense? Now you've done that program, you just did it to get here in the first place, so you're not qualified to teach it to other people. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So let's say you promote somebody. You promote Biff. So you spend 6 to 10 months of your time training up Biff. Biff gets promoted to management. Woo! Throw a big party for Biff. Now Biff's running an office. What's going to happen now is every time a sale is completed in Biff's office, you're going to get a little bonus. Does that make sense? Now it's really important to understand this does not come from Biff's pocket. Okay? It comes from our broker and our supplier's pocket. Okay? It's an incentive for you to train people. Okay? We want you to be excited about helping our business grow, and so we create an opportunity around that. So how does that work? Remember that figure I was talking about, the wire? Yeah? Okay? So that's the amount of money wired into your account for the completion of a sale. Okay? It's about $50, $52 per application. You're going to make a percentage of that. Okay? So we're going to go off the average here. Let's say that Biff has a $10,000 wire, which is the average right now across the country. Okay? So at a $10,000 wire, you're going to make 4% of that number. How much is that? It's $400 a week. Or $20,000 a year. How many of you guys would be excited to make an extra $20,000 this year because of work you did last year? Yeah? Anybody? Okay. Phenomenal. Me too. Now, are you going to have to work for that? Yeah, of course you are. You know, when Biff has a question, who do you think he's going to call? Yeah. When he wants a new juicy morning meeting, who do you think he's going to call? When he has an issue in his office or a problem he's not exactly sure how to handle and wants some coaching, who's he going to call?
This way.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, you got to consult. What's exciting is you can do about 90% of that over the phone. And the phone works a lot of places. So, that's pretty cool. Now, let's say Biff promotes somebody. Biff promotes Cletus. Good southern name there. Biff promotes Cletus. All right. Now, what is Dana? Now Biff's going to make his 4% off that. Does that make sense? Okay? Just like the franchise model. You know, if I run a McDonald's, and then I teach and train you how to run a McDonald's, I'm going to make a percentage every time you cook a burger. Does that make sense? So same way, this continues just like the franchise model. But what is Dana going to make off this? Dana is going to make nothing. 0%. 0%. Until he reaches the next phase of the company, which is called regional consultant or regional director, regional manager. Regional. Cool? What is a regional manager? Well, a regional manager got to management, taught at least 4 people how to get to management. Those 4 people taught at least 1 other. Does this model look familiar here? Again, it's objective. It's based on math. Okay? Can't fake it. And then, again, we are a company that wants to make money. So we attached a production requirement to this. And that production is $100,000 wire. With everybody added together. All the money that comes from our clients deposited in a week for all the reps and the managers. The total wire of this whole group has to be $100,000. Okay? When I got promoted to this level, I had ended up taking about 9 offices to do so. Okay? So that's all the money. You hit that 4 weeks in a row. So it's exactly double the time that it took to get promoted to assistant manager. Okay? Great accomplishment, huge accomplishment in our company. What happens at this point? Well, first we throw you a party. Yeah? Woo. Why? Because it's fun. Yes, it's fun. Who likes fun? Anyway? Yeah, okay, great. Me too. Alright, we throw you a party. You know, we call it a rally, or sometimes we do a bow tie. The party we're throwing this year is going to be a tuxedo. You know, everybody, you know, fancy, drinking cocktails, da-da-da-da. So you come up and you're going to, we'll promote you and you can give your speech. You know, I would like to thank my mother, I'd like to thank the academy, da-da-da-da-da. Give some high fives. And so, we throw you a party, number 1. Number 2, we have a traditional watches in our company because watches represent, longevity and stability. And we want you to have some bling when you go out to the club, you know what I mean? So we buy you what we call the regional watch. What it is a Cartier Santos. You can look up on the internet what it looks like. It's a $6,000 watch. So now when you go to the club, you got a little flash, right? Excited, regional, all right? And third thing we give you is a big jump in the money, okay? This 0% all of a sudden becomes 2%. So now, for every second generation person, or 3rd generation, or 4th generation, that's going to become $200 a week, or $10,000 a year. And this 4% is going to become 6%, or $600 a month, or $31,200. So all those people are making $20,000 on a night making $31,200. Is that exciting? Yeah, and this is the point where you can really start to have some lifestyle. When I hit this point, that was when we were able to retire my dad, which is super exciting. Our average regional director right now, just in these fees, not in addition to what they're making off their office, just in these fees, making about $1,000 a day, including Sundays. So, 7K a week. Who's excited about that? $1,000 a day. Boom. Every day. Even Sunday. $1,000 a day. That's right. Super exciting. Now, is that the last level in the company? No. There's one more level that we have a name for. Okay? And that is called Vice President. Okay? Now, how big can you get in our company? We don't know. It's unlimited. We don't put a cap on it. We don't know how many offices you can open up. It's unlimited. But the last level that we have a name for, we call it Vice President. Why we call it Vice President, I don't know. We used to call it National Consultant. We switched it to Vice President because we thought it sounded sexier, especially in Italian. Vice Presidente. Yeah. I've been in Italy for years. Really excited. All right, Vice President. What is a Vice President? Well, a Vice President found 7 people. 7 people who thought that running one of our offices was a really good idea. Those 7 people trained at least 4 others. Okay? And they hit a production requirement exactly double of regional. $200,000, 8 weeks in a row. Why? What happens then? Well, first, we throw you a party. Why?
Fun.
Because it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. Right? Get up there, you give your speech, like blah, 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 right? Okay. Second, we give you a custom watch. It's one I got on here. It's a Frank Mueller, if you're into watches, you'll know who he is.
Yep.
We take a $10,000 Frank Mueller watch and we add $10,000 of diamonds to it. And there's 9 in the world because there's 9 of us. And so now you can wear, you know, 2 watches in the club if you want. You got double plate, you know? Exciting. And finally, we give you a big pay raise. This 2% becomes 4%. So all these people you're making $10,000 off of, you're now making $20,000 off of each. This 6% becomes 8%. So it's $800 a week for every person that you train to manage. $41,000, $41,600 per person that you've trained. Okay? Our average vice president just starting out making about double, making about $2,000 a week, a day. Sorry, $2,000 a day, $14,000 a week, just a consultant piece. Is that exciting? Yeah, that's exciting. Yes, it is. All right, now, when you get to vice president, something else happens. You get to vice president, you get some choices. Who likes choices? I like choices. I think choices are great. Okay, so when you get to vice president, you can do a couple things. 1, let's do the same thing. Okay, continue to open up offices. You know, our business, once you get good at it, just like anything else you get good at, it becomes really, really exciting, really, really addictive. Keep promoting people, keep growing. 2, you can stop running an office. Take your office, hand it over to one of your assistant managers, and stop running an office. And you can choose to focus on working with our clients and our broker out of Chicago. So if you're the kind of person that's super creative or really artsy, or you really like, you know, the whole whining and dining aspect of things, this is something that that appeals to those type people. So what are these people? These people help steer the direction of the company. Okay, you know, the reason that we have energy as a client, the reason that we have telecoms as a client, is because 10 years ago, one of the vice presidents got in touch with the vice president of sales for a major telecom company, flew him up here, took him out for a steak dinner, they had some champagne and a filet, and they started a test market. Does it make sense? So this is what these people do, and we need more of it. Number 3 option. You can stop running an office, okay, and consult. What does that mean? It means your primary objective is training all those people and consulting with them to help them hit their goals. What's really cool about consulting is you can do 90% of it with one of these. And I don't know if you've seen these, but these work in a lot of places. These work on the beach, in Sardinia, off the coast of Italy. They work in the Dominican Republic. They work in Barbados. They work at the top of Zermatt, beautiful mountain to go skiing in Switzerland, if you're ever out that direction. They work a lot of places, cool? So, completely your own schedule, whatever you want to do, take one of these with you, you're good to go. You know, I have some friends that got the vice president and just went on world travel 4 months a year, going through Asia, and then they come back and go to Australia and just consult, exciting. Last one, if you're a little bit crazy and a little bit adventurous, you can pick a country. Pick a country. Which country? The only requirement is it needs to be on the map. If it's on the map, you can pick it. Go. Pick a country that we're already in, like Italy, or Spain, or Portugal. We need more vice presidents in every single country. Or pick a country that we're not in, like France or China, and go there. We'll expand the business, and you take it there. You know, my coach, I saw him in 2009. Pack his bags and moved to Madrid, where we had no business, and created a business of 400 people. You know, that inspired me to do the same thing. I moved to Lisbon at the same time, and built up that country. Then we did it again in Poland and Italy. It's very, very exciting. So if you're a little bit nuts, like travel, that's a good option for you. Number 5, any of the above. Any combination of the above. At some point in my career, I've done every single one of these. Back and forth, so it's super, super exciting. Yes?
Yes.
All right, so that's the opportunity. We have like 3 minutes. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. So, when I started in the business, I got promoted. I remember my first office in St. Louis, and you guys been there? St. Louis? No? We got an arch there, and it's kind of cool. Other than that, it's not a lot going on, but I was doing really, really well. And got to the point where our office was making so much money. You know, I remember the first time I made $1,000 in a day. I remember the first time I made $2,000 in a day. But this was about the point where I was telling you that I decided, hey, you know what? I really want to do this as a career. And so I met this guy, Justin Cobb, who's in the other room, and at that point, he was promoting somebody to management like every 3 weeks. I mean, the guy was on fire. He was just doing absolutely crazy. And so I got the opportunity to go work and study with him in London. And there was a vice president that we'd all heard of, but I'd never met. And he was the first guy that ever went and opened up England. And so I heard all these stories about him. This guy named Jesse Young. He's going to be here today, actually. He's flying in. And so we heard all these legends, but I never really heard anything. And, at this point, you figure I'm 25 years old. I was poor my whole life, like broke, destitute, like super poor. Now I'm making like $1,000 a day, $2,000 a day. Pretty kind of cocky, actually, overly confident, I'm rolling, yeah, motherfuckers, you know what I mean? And I thought I had it pretty good, man. I thought I had a pretty cool lifestyle. And that was just from running one office. And I land, and I still remember this day. It was the day of the Champions League final in 2008. You soccer fans in here, it was Chelsea versus Manchester United. It went to kickoffs, went to penalty kicks, and Manchester won. Yeah, so this is my first day in England, right? And so Jesse calls me up, and he says, I land, he calls me up. I'm like, holy shit, Jesse Young, he does exist. This is crazy. And he's like, hey man, there's this sport over here called football, which you know as soccer. You're gonna need to get excited about it because it's all these people do over here, right? So he said, why don't you come to my house tonight and check it out? And I love houses, love parks, so I'm super excited. I wonder what this place is gonna look like, right? And again, I'm pretty cocky at this point. I live in a really nice apartment, but I get to this place and I was blown away. Well, first, you couldn't see it. It's a huge 12-foot brick wall. And the little call box, and you press in the code, and then it just, it opens up for you, you drive in. And the only way I know to explain this house, you guys seen MTV Cribs before? Yeah. Yeah. It's not like oh, that's a cute house. It's like holy fuck, what is this? I mean, this place is gigantic. And also, I'm a big fan of fast cars. And so I see his cars in the driveway, and he's got how some families have the clinker car? Like the one you let the kids throw up in, that one? Yeah, so their clinker car was a BMW X5. I'm like, that's pretty cool, And then there was this car, a Bentley, which, if you know Bentleys, they're pretty nice. And then this car looked like the Batmobile. I'd never seen anything like the Aston Martin DB9. You seen anything? So I'm looking at these cars, and then, his wife opens the door. Really, really nice lady, absolutely gorgeous too. Her name's Elena. Great, great, great lady. So she answers the door, and his son Jake, who was about this high at the time, is running around. So we sit in his, theater, and we watch this game. So cool. And afterwards, I'm like Jesse, I love houses, bro. Give me a tour. Give me a tour. He's like, oh yeah, sure, come on in. And so here's how the tour went. He's walking through. He's like, all right, well this is 3 people live in this house, by the way. One's this tall, right? And then him and her. And so he's walking around. He's like, well, this was a bedroom that we converted into a gym for me. It's like this huge professional gym. We walk on to the next room, and he's like, yeah, this was a bedroom. We converted into a gym for Elena. Like his and her gyms, you know what I mean? And then this was a bedroom, and we didn't know what to do, so we just converted into Jake's playroom. So it's just like a room dedicated to toys, And then he's like, this is a dining room, and here's where we eat dinner, and here's another dining room, and here's a formal dining room that we've never used, and here's another guest bedroom. I'm like, Jesse, what's this way? He's like, I don't remember exactly. I mean, this place is gigantic. And so we go through all that, and then he goes to his kitchen, which is like, I don't know, imagine 8 of these. It's that big, literally. It's just gigantic. And then we go outside, and he's got this professional landscape, waterfalls, and botanical gardens. Stuff. It's just nuts. And I'm just like, holy shit, this place is gorgeous. And he's like, oh, you haven't seen the best part. Let me show you my man cave, right? And so he has this 4-car garage or 6-car garage, whatever it is, the entire top floor of that he converted into his man cave. And walk in this place, it's like a dream. It's got ping pong tables, pool tables, pinball machines, arcade games, and it's lined with Italian leather sofas, and in between every sofa is a little mini fridge, and you open it up, it's just stocked full of beer. It's just awesome, right? It's like every man's dream, And so I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! And so he's like, here, grab a seat, we crack open a beer, and I'm like, Jesse, you have it all. You got the wife, you got the kids, you got amazing marriage, you got every toy money can buy. What do I got? What do I got to do to get here? whatever it is. What I gotta do? And he starts laughing at me. I'm like, what are you laughing at? He said, Christoph, 10 years ago today, I was in Boston, Massachusetts, in the snow, as a brand new guy, knocking on doors, selling coupons for a restaurant that hadn't opened yet called Spaghetti Freddy. Our business has come a long way. But if I can do it, you can do it. And if you're willing to have the same attitude I have, the same work ethic, the same student mentality, you can have all this too. If all those things are true, the only difference between me and you is time. And at that point, you know, it was really hard for me to picture that. When I was new, it was really hard for me to picture being on the other side of the table as a vice president. And I remember like I was new like it was yesterday. And most days now, I still wake up and I'm like, holy shit, it worked. You know? I'm here, can't believe it. And we need more people on this side of the table. We are on a mission these next few years to create the most awesome sales and marketing company in existence. We've already done it all over the world, and we're gonna become the biggest and the best and the most amazing in America. And we want people that want to come along for that trip and want to come to this side of the table. Do I know if you're going to do it? No idea. Fortunately, it's not up to me. It's up to you. But it starts today. It starts in the field. It starts with that same training program. It pays off. Juice?
Juice.
Juice?
Juice.
All right. If you're assistant manager, hang back. If not, get out of here. Huh? All right, guys. We got a speaker right now. I'm going to bring her in on Fuse.